All right, Baldacci, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. How you doing today?
Man, I'm good.
That's what's
You know,
up, man. Blessed.
blessed,
Yeah.
grinding. You know, but we'll get right into it, man. We'll get into your story a little bit, man. I know you've talked about a few things, but my audience probably hasn't heard a lot of your story and everything. You got
Right,
a real interesting story and everything that you've been through.
right.
So I just thought we just start from the beginning, man. For the people who don't know, where'd you grow up at?
I'm from South Los Angeles, Florence District, Florence Community, right there in LA.
Okay, and what was it like for you growing up there?
I mean, it was, of course, it was rough growing up in LA, being in, certain areas. There's, a little bit more, more activity going on, and just a bunch of different stuff that's, you get caught up into if you're not focused in school and staying out of the way if you're interested in that other kind of environment as far as life, gangs, drugs, like everything that goes on as a kid, getting involved in that was really rough. You know what I mean?
So that's the path you chose as a kid.
That's definitely the path I chose as a kid. Now as a grown up, I'm definitely trying to improve myself and beat those obstacles that were put in my life at a young age, and definitely moving forward and making better progress with my life and with my surroundings and my environment.
Okay. What are some early memories you have from growing up?
Man, I mean, everything from partying to getting myself in trouble, being incarcerated as a juvenile, um, having fun. I guess at that age, I thought that was fun and thought that was the way to go, and that was basically my life was partying and, like I said, getting in trouble and females and just everything that comes along with the territory. You know what I mean? Those were my early memories as a kid.
At what age did you start getting involved in gangs?
13. I was 13 years old, going to be 14, and I decided to make that decision in my life, and it's been with me since then. You know what I mean? There's goods and bads, I guess. You know what I mean? You could say, like, there's good things about it and there's bad things about it.
And what do you think made you go that direction with your life?
Um, it's hard to say. I just, growing up in that area, you see, everything that's going on, and you see, the glitz and glamour, I guess, that you could say. But at the end of the day, it's like that's not your main reason for wanting. I mean, not my main reason, at least, for wanting to be part of that. There was just so much more to it. My father and my family members were all, involved in it, and I decided to make that choice and followed in my father's footsteps, or at least I thought I was doing so.
You said your whole family
Right,
or most of your family is from there.
right.
So this was like all you seen growing up then.
Yeah, I mean, well, I won't say all I seen, because on the other hand, my mother, she was a hardworking woman. My grandparents, they were very, strict and very, like, just on us about everything and trying to keep us out of that lifestyle. You know what I mean? So I can't say that that's all I seen, but it's a big. It's like a majority of what I got to see for myself growing up. But at the end of the day, there was family members trying to help out, like my aunt, my uncles. They're pastors from church and stuff like that, and they try to embed in my head all the positive stuff as well. It's just I guess you know the streets kind of overpowered and just kind of took me, and that's the route that I went.
You said your dad was a major influence on you getting involved in the streets. What was it like growing up with a dad from your neighborhood?
Well, I won't say he was like a major influence. I think it's just mainly that I wanted to be like him so much. Um, I won't say that he encouraged us to join or encouraged myself to join. Like I feel like he tried as much as he can, but the fact that him being gone for a long time, being in the system and being away from us, and the only thing he could really do was write letters and try to explain to us how we need to listen to my mom, or we need to stay out of trouble, or we need to this and that, and that's kind of hard to sit there and accept those rules that he's giving me, being the fact that he's sending me a letter from prison, it's like, come on, bro, like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, I love my pops, I respect my pops, but I wasn't gonna listen to that, being the fact that you're sitting, you know, in a place from where you got yourself in trouble, and you're writing to me telling me that I need to do this and do that. So I kind of didn't listen to what he told me, and still ended up choosing, you know, a different wave. And you know, honestly, in all reality, like, I could have listened to what he said and what my mom and my grandparents said, and you know, who knows what my life would have turned out to be. I'm happy what my life has turned out to be now, because like I said, I've turned a negative to a positive, and that's something that not everyone can say for themselves, you know, but everyone can. You know what I mean? They might not be able to say it because they haven't done it yet, but once they do it, they'll see that in all reality, there's a way out. You know what I mean? There's a way out with this. And I'm not saying way out as in trying to get away from what you're involved in or what you've been grown up with. Like, I love my homies. Like, you know, no matter what, at the end of the day, those are my homies, that they're family, you know, but I'm doing something positive with myself, and I'm, you know, I respect the fact that they respect that. Like, it's a blessing, you know, because not everybody can sit there and say, hey, you know what, my homies support me 100%, you know, but I can.
Yeah, that's what's
Right.
up.
Right.
It's a good thing, man. You know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're older now too, you know.
Right. Yeah, no,
You know?
it's a time that, you know, comes in your life where it's, you need to make that decision to prosper or to continue doing stuff that's going to get yourself in trouble, or doing stuff that's going to, you know, set you back a few steps. And I'm done with the getting set back. I'm just moving forward now, you know what I mean? I got so much positive stuff going on in my life that there's no way that I can go against that or try to change that, you know what I mean? I want that. I want that positivity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's up. Definitely, man. You had mentioned your dad was in and out of jail. What were some things he was getting busted for?
My dad used to go to jail for like robberies and stuff like that. That was his thing back in the day. He's deceased now, you know what I mean? He's resting in peace.
Rest in peace.
You know, rest in peace,
Definitely.
Big Sailor. That's my pops, you know. And he was a good man, you know. Despite everything else that, you know, he went to jail for or whatnot, my dad was a very good man, well respected, well loved. A lot of people, you know, messed with my dad real heavy, and you know, he left a legacy. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I wish he was here to be able to see everything that I've accomplished since he's been gone.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think not having your dad, with your dad being in and out of jail, do you think that like kind of helped? Not, I don't want to say help, but get you in the, you know, put you in the streets, but like, you know what I'm saying, kind of encouraged it, or not encouraged it, but like, you know, made it easier for you to choose that path?
I think it kind of made it easier because of the simple fact he wasn't there to kick my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I know how he is, and I know he's, you know, he's a strong man, and he's definitely, I mean, he's easygoing, but at the end of the day, you don't get on his bad side because Pops will tap that ass. You know what I mean? Like, that's just him, and I feel like him being gone made it a little bit easier for me. It made it a little bit harder for my mom because, you know, she didn't have that support to be able to, hey, you know what, spank your son type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because of course, you know, moms will whip out the belt, and you know, we would put books or whatever to try not to get hit with them belts. You know what I mean? So we, one way or the other, it was like, okay, it'll go in one ear, come out the other type shit. And you know, I know it was hard for her. You know what I mean? And I gotta apologize to her now, you know, for all those years that we put her through. But at the end of the day, I know she sees that I'm headed in a better path and doing positive things in life, and I'm sure she's very proud of that.
Yeah, yeah, that's what's up.
Right.
That's what's up. You had mentioned that you went to juvenile hall early.
Right.
I don't know if it was in this interview or a previous one, but what were some early things you got busted for?
When I was a kid, I got arrested for 3 stolen vehicles like in one day. It was crazy. I know people, you know, they've heard this story over and over, but it's the truth. So it's like you're gonna keep hearing it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like I got busted early in the morning, then I got busted again. I mean, they let me go to the custody of my parents because I was 13 years old. You know what I mean? Like, they knew damn well we were just joyriding and being, you know, kids. You know, so I got arrested, you know, early in the morning type shit. Then again, I got arrested like lunchtime for the same shit. You know what I mean? Again, they released me to my mom. basically they were like, you know what, come get your damn son type shit, you know. And the third time that I got arrested was like in the evening, more in the night. And that time they were like, you know what, we're not gonna, you know, don't even call your mom to come pick you up. Like, you're going to jail this time. So yeah, I went to go visit juvenile hall and see, you know, what all the hype was about. You know what I mean? And I went in there, and I went in there with one of my good homies, and you know, my homie told me straight up, hey, you know what, when you get there, it's time for business, bro. Like, there's, you know what I mean? You get there, you gotta handle what you gotta handle, like, you know what I mean? Because in juvenile hall, it's a whole different ball game. You know, there's fighting, and there's enemies that you know have on the streets that you've accumulated for being part of certain areas that you're not from. You know, and so I went to juvenile hall and I did what I had to do, and I learned. You know, I learned how to carry myself in being incarcerated.
Did you already have any tattoos on your face?
Oh yeah, I had an F-13 on my chin that I ended up lasering off later on in my life, you know. But yeah, it was I mean, that was
So everybody knew where you were from as soon as.
Yeah, there was no denying that, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, and I wasn't gonna deny it anyways, cause you know, being from where I'm from, like, we got a lot of respect, a lot of love, and you know, I was trying to keep my part, you know what I mean, to do my part to make sure that didn't change in any way, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man. So how long did you do?
That time I only did like a couple months. I want to say, like, I got released. It was like a DA reject or something like that, where they just basically threw the case out, you know, because really, what were they gonna give me for joyriding? You know what I'm saying? It's not even a Grand Theft Auto, to be honest with you. It's called joyriding. Like, it's actual. You didn't basically steal no car. Like, you're just in the stolen car type shit. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't driving basically at any of the times I wasn't driving. So they basically kicked it out. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give us any time for the stolen cars or whatnot. And I came home, and you know, I got myself back in trouble right away. And it's like, it was crazy, man. I got arrested for, you know, a real big case after that. I got arrested for a carjack, kidnap, and strong arm robbery, which I ended up having to take a deal just to basically have the higher charges dropped. I took a deal for the robbery, which basically dropped the other charges. You know what I'm saying? And I was still a juvenile. I was still a child. They tried to try me as an adult, but the people, the jury, the district attorney, everybody decided that I was not fit to be tried as an adult. I was still a kid. You know what I mean? So it went from a whole 21 years that they were trying to give me to I ended up getting like a year in a violence alternative program, camp, juvenile stuff, you know. And that was because I had a lawyer too, so you know, he definitely helped me out.
So you had a lawyer, and you only did a year.
Yeah,
So
I didn't end up doing a year, but I got sentenced to a year. I ended up doing a lot more because being in the system, you know, you get in fights, you get in stuff that you don't even look for, that just happens to come with the territory of being incarcerated.
And this is all as a juvenile.
Juvenile.
And when you get out, how old are you?
When I got out, I want to say 17. I stayed out for a bit. I turned 18. When I turned 18, I got shot 5 times with an AK-47. I was in a coma for a month and a half.
Do you remember the shooting?
I mean, I remember getting shot. I don't remember like actual, you know what I mean, like encounters or seeing who did it, or I just remember getting shot. I waking up knowing what happened to me just by looking at myself laying in a hospital bed, and then people there that were visiting me telling me like, you were shot type shit, you know?
I mean, what happened? Just somebody rolled up on you, or?
Yeah, we just were at the wrong place at the wrong time, basically, man. It was just bad timing, you know?
And dude shot you with an AK?
Yeah, I got shot 5 times with an AK.
Where'd all you get shot?
I got shot 2 times in my back, 2 times in my side, and then one skinned my arm, like just like ripped a big chunk of piece of meat on my arm. So it was 5 total. You know, I'm missing a kidney, a spleen, half a liver, half a pancreas. Both my lungs collapsed. My aorta was torn, ripped into pieces. When that right there is like your main vessel here, or whatever it is that you want to call it, it's like something very vital. So it was a blessing to be brought back to life by this doctor named Dr. Asensio. You know, he's a Brazilian doctor that was there just giving, a seminar or whatever it is you call it to the other doctors that were there. He he actually took the initiative to try to put me back together, man, and he did. He did just that.
Man, it sounds like you're really lucky to be alive,
No,
man.
most definitely, man. God is good, bro.
You got scars.
Yeah, I got a scar like on my stomach and shit. I got a trach right here on my throat. I tattooed over it so you could see very, very little of it. But yeah, and then I got, bullet holes in my back, my side, and stuff like that. So
AK ain't no joke.
yeah, no,
That's
it
a
ripped
big bullet.
it ripped through the trunk, the speaker box, and 2 seats before it hit my back. So that all that slowed it down. But it's still, that's how powerful that round is. That round, from my understanding, those are built to destroy. You know what I'm saying? That's what that weapon and that round of caliber of round is built for, to destroy. And it destroyed, but it didn't completely destroy. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm still here, I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm blessed. God is good. That doctor, like I said, shout out to Dr. Asensio. He definitely put the beats back together, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. You wake up out of the coma,
Right.
and what do you see?
First thing I seen was one of my homies, and he was shocked because I had already been asleep for so long. What's crazy about it, a lot of people don't understand, is that you can hear people when you're in a coma. You can hear everything that's going on around you. You can hear the talking. You can hear everything that's just taking place near you. You just can't respond. Like, I'd have people there saying, hey, if you could hear me squeeze my finger type shit. And I'd hear them, and I'd think that I'd be squeezing their finger, but I wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely, it's real emotional because, you hear everybody crying for your life. You know what I mean? You hear everybody sitting there, grieving over what they think is about to be a loss. You know what I mean? And it's sad, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like when I woke up, the first thing I seen was one of my homies, and he was surprised to see me open my eyes, that he just like shook and was like, let me go get your mom type shit, like, because nobody had seen me awake for a while. So when I opened my eyes and he was there, he was just like, whoa. He was surprised. So he ran off to get my mom. My mom came back in, and, we had a little conversation. I couldn't talk because I had tubes in my throat. I had a tube in my mouth tied to, like, it's just everywhere. I had tubes on the side of my chest, air, like the vents, the air ventilation things, going, like breathing for me, basically. I was on a breathing machine that was breathing for me. That's what it was doing. And yeah, so that's what happened when I first opened my eyes. Like, I got to see my homie, and I got to see my family, and little by little, people started coming in and just trying to explain to me what took place. Like, hey, look, you were shot, like, because I didn't really know. Like, I'm sitting there like, damn, what happened? Till I was basically informed a little bit, like, oh, this is what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
What was the recovery process like? How long did it take?
Man, this is the crazy part, bro, is that, and I don't know what it is about me that I've, like, been able to heal really fast with certain things. Like, they told me that I was gonna have to go to like an outpatient therapy thing. I didn't do it. They told me I wasn't gonna be able to walk again because I was in a wheelchair. I'm walking. You know what I'm saying? Like, we figured this shit out. We put our effort, put our minds to it, and wasn't gonna let that take over me. Like, I had to walk, and I feel like my recovery process for a lot of things has been insane, bro. Like, not even human sometimes, man. It's crazy. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not human, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the recovery process has been to that point where I feel like, well, how do I heal so fast from something like this? I got in a car accident. I had 2 black eyes, bro. One was like full black, and one was like half. But cause the airbag hit me right in the face. I came home, I seen the black eyes, everything. I jumped in the shower, I went to sleep. I woke up in the morning and both the black eyes were gone.
Damn.
And I said to myself, like, how does this work? Like, I've physically, as far as fighting, I've never had a black eye, but I've seen people that have had like black eyes from fighting and stuff like that. And it's like, I know that lasts a couple of days. I know it doesn't go away the next day. So for me to jump in the shower, go to sleep, get my rest, and wake up, and then for it to be gone, it's just like that's something that really like amazed me and really intrigued him and kind of made me wonder like, how do I heal so fast? What is it? Why? What difference do I have from the next man to be able to heal that fast? And it's still something that's a mystery to me to this day.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah. Do you have any complications from being shot?
Oh yeah, of course. Like I've since I've been shot, like throughout the years, even while I was in prison, I'd get sick. You know, my stomach would hurt me so bad to where it's like I would fall to my knees because I've never been in so much pain. And the doctor said that really what it was is that my stomach isn't completely healed yet. You know
Even to this day?
yeah, even to the, I mean, well, maybe it's been 20 years now, so maybe, but I still have pain problems but that all leads into like everything else. I have diabetes now, so I think my diabetes is part of the, but I think all that is connected. You know what I mean? Like everything that, because of certain things that my body can't fight off because I'm missing a spleen or just I think everything's all connected at the end of the day, and it's like, okay, this is part of the process. You know what I mean? And I don't take care of myself the way I should, which I really plan on starting to do, which, you know, let's pray to God it ain't too late as far as like my neuropathy and my diabetes and stuff like that. Like I'm hoping that we can reverse that. You know what I mean? And for me to get on the right track and be healthy again, because, you know, it's a blessing to still be able to be here and, you know, work and do these interviews and be with my family and my loved ones, and you know what I'm saying, my team, effort team.
Diabetes is rough.
It's rough.
You know, but if you take care of yourself, you eat good, and you know what I'm saying, I think it's something that can be controlled, man.
Right. And I don't have the diabetes that you have to take insulin. Like I have the pill prone diabetes.
So you have like a lighter case of it?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that I let it go to a certain extent to where it's not so light. You know what I mean?
It can get worse.
Right,
yeah.
right. So that's something that, you know, I definitely wanna straighten out about myself. That's one thing that I do, you know, don't feel too proud of myself, is that, you know, I've been going so hard with the music and with everything else that I'm doing is I'm not focusing on myself and loving myself and taking care of the person that's behind all that music, you know?
Yeah.
Like I have to really focus on that. Even before I could feed the streets music, even before I could give them a picture on Instagram, I need to look at what's going on with myself instead of worrying about keeping everybody else happy, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's rough. It's just been rough for me because I'm used to keeping everybody else with a smile on their face, you know?
Yeah, man. It's definitely rough, man.
Right.
So after you recover
Right.
from your from being shot, what do you start doing?
I went to prison right away. Like I wasn't even out of the hospital for about 8 months, and I ended up going right back. You know, I went to the adult system now. Learned that system. Had to, you know, keep straight and try to get by, and
What they send you to prison for?
I ended up going to the state for a pistol, for a gun. Well, I got a pistol case. I took a 6-year joint suspension, which they let me back out.
6 years?
Yeah, 6-year joint. So I was young. You know, a lot of people were in my head. Were like, hey, look, bro, look, 6-year, or they didn't say 6 years, but they just said a joint suspension will get you home. Me being shot the way I wasn't in no position to actually be incarcerated, bro. Like, I didn't have no strength on me. Like, I didn't belong there. I needed to be out, getting healthy.
Oh, so you were still recovering?
I was 8 months, barely out, fresh out of the hospital. Like, I was barely getting back to being able to, you know, walk around and all that. You know, I'm walking, but I'm walking slow still. Like, my body's, I'm so skinny from all the blood that I lost. I lost 16 pints of blood. So, yeah, it was bad. So, me being in the system, I didn't think that it was the proper timing for me to be in the system. If something were to take place, I really couldn't defend myself the way I would if I was healthy. You know what I'm saying? So, the only option basically was a 6-year joint suspension. I took it. They released me again. But from what I understood, I had to catch another case to get those 6 years. And I didn't. I actually, you know, tattooed my neck with my neighborhood, of course, and I got 6 years for that tattoo. So they sent me to prison for my tattoo. And in all reality, they sent me to prison for the pistol. You know what I mean? But I say the tattoo because it's like they let me go and said, you got a 6-year joint suspension. If you catch another case, that's what you're going to go for, plus the 6 years on top. But that's not what happened. I came home, I got a tattoo, and I violated. And
That
they
was
gave me
part.
6 years.
So getting any tattoos or just gang affiliated?
I guess
tattoos?
just that tattoo, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't really explain. It was more like, okay, here's your 6 years, take them and get up out of here, basically. So it's like, I didn't have no lawyer this time. I was, 18 years old, and I was young and still said, man, you know what, fuck it, I'll be out. You know what I'm saying? And I got out when I was, I believe, 23. Yeah, I did 5 years off of those 6.
What was that first prison bid like for you?
It was cool, man. I learned a lot. You know what I mean? I kept myself occupied with the working out and the playing sports, basketball, and just try to stay focused and on track and get myself out of there in one piece. You know what I mean? Because there's always stuff that happens while you're being in those kind of places. Like anything can happen at any time. So I try to stay focused and keep myself busy and involved with my family, writing letters and receiving letters and pictures and getting visits and phone calls, and you know what I mean. That's how I did my time.
I interviewed a homie Diablo. I don't know if you know who that is, but he raps under Criminals label.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he was telling me that when he went to prison, he was in a couple riots and seen some things.
I went to Delano to reception. From there, I went to Soledad. I was there for a couple months. We got into a riot with the Northerners. Picked up a stabbing battery. I sat in the hole for about 10 months. Ended up getting a little riot for participation in little shoe for participation in a riot. And then I went down to Ironwood. I was on B yard for like maybe 2-3 months. Picked up a battery. I went to the hole. They sent me to Centinela. I was right there for maybe 5 years. In and out the hole. It was cool though. I ended up picking up indeterminate shoe there. But I paroled before I got transferred.
So for people who don't know, what's that mean?
Is you get into so much bullshit that they ended up, like they get tired of your ass and just slam you down until they feel like letting you back out of the hole.
Is there anything in there that you've seen?
I mean, all that comes with being incarcerated. You know what I mean? You're gonna see so much. It's like it's part of being in the system. You know what I mean? That's just something that you just gotta sweep the lick, wake up the next morning, and go eat breakfast, bro. You know what I mean? Keep it going.
You mentioned that you had a riot with the police.
Right.
What was that like?
It was just like I said. It was another part of just being incarcerated. Things happen. We were there. You happen to be part of it because you're there. Like it's nothing that you could control, nothing that you can stop. It's part of the system. Like I said, wake up the next day, go eat breakfast, man. You gotta get back to you and focusing on trying to better yourself.
What they do to you when they?
We ended up getting sent to like a whole different prison. We were in the hole for a couple months, like until stuff got sorted out, and there was about 10 or 11 people that didn't end up getting a write-up, and usually they have to have those write-ups there at a certain time or they'll kick you out. You get kicked back out to the yard. So that's what happened with myself and with about 10 or 11 other people, where they didn't show up on time with the write-ups. They were like late with the paperwork, and they had to spit us back out to the yard.
For the people who are watching this that have never been to jail or anything, right. What's the hole like for you?
Well, the hole is basically solitary confinement, where you're basically, it's yourself and your cellie. You know what I'm saying? But you have absolutely nothing other than your boxers, your socks, and your t-shirt. You get your food. You know what I'm saying? You get your 3 meals, of course, at your door. You don't come out other than just a shower and maybe an hour of rec, which is a little small yard that's just yourself, your cellie, and maybe 6 other dudes. You go out there for a little bit, walk some laps, do some push-ups, work out. That's basically the whole. So you're in solitary confinement for at least about 23 hours of the day.
How does you think that affects you?
It's all a mind thing, I guess. I feel like if you let that affect you, then you know what I mean. Like there's some people that it affects more than others. I feel like people tend to think about the streets, their girlfriends, their loved ones, which it's hard not to think about that. But at the end of the day, that's what's eating you up. When you're sitting there thinking, where's my girlfriend? Is she out there doing this? How's my brother? Is he okay out there? Like that eats you alive. So if you try not to think about these things, which like I said is very, very hard, but you try your best to focus and read a book, write a letter, work out, do something else with your day other than just constantly thinking about that, your day goes by a lot faster.
Is that what you focused on?
I had to. I read books. I worked out. I wrote letters and waited to receive letters. Like that mail call that came around at 4 o'clock was like my highlight of the day. Because I know I was getting 5, 6 letters. So I'm like, yeah, bring that. So that and the food. Every time they bring the food, it's a smile on my face. I'm sitting there like, okay.
Okay, so you do your time. I think you said you did.
Right.
Was it 4 years, 5 years?
5 years.
5 years, and you get out of jail. Now, do you try to go straight, or do you go right back into the streets?
Well, I think when I came home the first time, it was just like that was my first time, like actually, I mean, I've done more time in the system as a juvenile, but like I said, as an adult, that was my first time doing a longer stretch of time that I hit the streets running. Right when I came home, it was like the parties, the females, everything was new to me. And it's like when you're fresh out, you're like a fresh piece of meat. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants to hang out with you. The girls want to be around you, like type shit. It's like I liked that, at that moment. I was still young. I was 23 years old. I wanted that still, So I hit the streets running. I got myself caught up again. I ended up going to the feds this time. So I went to the feds for 5 years. I guess I want to say like after I got out of the feds.
What was the indictment for?
It was for a bunch of stuff. It was RICO, racketeering. You know what I mean? It was a big indictment where they came and snatched up 150 other homies, and like it was just a real big indictment. So after that, we went. Everybody got their sentencing. Everybody got their time. After I did my time, I came home. And I think this is the time that I told myself that I need to come home and I need to focus on what I'm really going to be in life, what I really need to do to get to that next level of success. I feel that everything else that I've done in my life, there's no regrets, because it's all gotten me to where I'm at now. And I feel like my life is definitely in a 50,000 time better position than I was at any other time in my life. Now, with seeing the people that I'm able to change, I get messages from people on my social media that are telling me, bro, like I had a choice whether to choose, A or B. And with me listening to your music and seeing that you're able to do positive things in the neighborhood, like I chose B. You know what I mean? Like I want to do that. Like I'm just going to do my music and go straight. And that to me, touching one person's mind out of 100 to me is my job is done. I helped somebody, and to know that I'm able to do that, I'm gonna continue to do that. Like I don't want to stop doing that. I want these people to feel that they can also do the same thing I did without going through everything else that I did.
Yeah. The way I'm starting to think about that type of influence, I think some people just want to do better, right. But they're like, they grow up around, or they see it, they're influenced by it. But sometimes I think they just need that kind of one inspiration.
The guidance.
Just to kind of like show them like, okay, you can do something different right. with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go this route. So I think some people just need like a reason.
Right. It's just an alignment that they need. You know what I mean? On their car. I feel like it's just a little small thing to guide you the right way. Once you get a feel and a taste of, the life that that you want, it's like there's no better feeling in the world than that. You know what I mean? To be able to say, hey, you know what? In the future, I'm gonna be able to take care of my kids, like with what I'm doing and what I'm. Like I always tell everybody, it's my boys be tripping out on that because I tell them that I feel like I look at the music and my life as like Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And if you remember that, you start off fighting with Glass Joe or those dudes that are like super easy to beat. You know, I feel like I did that with the music when I first started, you know, going into different studios and knocking out features and doing different work with different artists. And, you know, it just seemed real easy. And it started getting harder and harder because now I'm at the point where I'm at Mike Tyson. Now I'm at the point where we're about to kick a door down that really nobody has kicked down. You know what I mean? And that's my goal, that's my focus, and that's what I want for myself and my team and my people that are surrounded by me, my loved ones, my haters, everybody, bro. Like I want to see everybody succeed. Even that's something about me that nobody can take from me, is that I can't even hate a hater. You know what I mean? Like that's just not, it's not in my blood. It's not in my nature. It's like, God bless you, bro. You know, I wish you the best. That's all I can do.
What point did you start rapping?
I've been rapping since I was a kid. Other than it was only like some street stuff and like certain songs that all I would do was talk about like my neighborhood, and I would rap like in the back, you know, garages and different stuff like that with my homies, and do it at parties and get the people dancing at the hood parties and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, but I seen that I had something, and I knew I had something, so I kept with it throughout my system time and all that. But all I can do really was write. There was no recording, you know, just writing, putting stuff on paper, putting my thoughts on paper, putting my life on paper. Until I came home when I was, like I said, I was 23. I started working on the music and kind of taking it more serious, but at the same time, I still had my foot in the hot water, messing around on the streets. So you can't do both. You can't. I don't care who you are, and you know, it's there's no way you can do both. You have to choose whether you want to continue doing what you're doing, or do you want to continue in the positive direction? And I chose to go with the positive direction, man, because you know, all the other stuff I've been through already. So now it's like, okay, I've been to this theme park, let me look at the next one. You know what I mean? Don't stay at this same Knott's Berry Farm and get stuck here. Like, keep pushing, go check out, there's more stuff out there. So that's what I'm doing with my life.
There's some people that are watching this that might want to get some face tattoos.
Right.
And at what age were you when you got your first tattoo?
13.
13.
My first face tattoo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 13.
Have you ever tried to get a regular job?
I actually had a regular job with this company a while back when I came home from the feds. Like, I needed a job. And these people, you know, lent their hand and got me working, and it was doing deliveries of cigars and just different stuff. You know what I mean? Like Swisher kind of stuff, but it's not Swisher. It's another company. I worked for them for a while, but music is my life, bro. Like I don't want to sit here and even front. Like, you know, I encourage people to go get a job, and if music is their life, then they're gonna have to give it 113% the way I feel like I have to give it. You know what I mean? Like I'm dedicated to this all day. This is what I do. You know, so it's like I have to figure out how that's gonna bring any kind of income for me, because if not, you're gonna be sitting there hungry. You know what I mean? Like you don't have a job, so how are you gonna take care of it? So that's where all the merch comes in, and building yourself to where you're at a point where you can charge for your features now. You could charge for your video appearances now. You know what I mean? And stuff like that, shows. Right now we're on hold because of the whole COVID stuff, but that's where the money is at. Once you figure that out.
Do you feel like the tattoos have held you back or helped you out?
I think they've done both. You know what I mean? I think they've held me back from certain situations because people are afraid to invest their money into something where they feel like there's a possibility dude can get back in trouble or go to jail and I lose my money type shit, you know? Which is understandable. I respect that. And I just keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of dudes that have tattoos that just have tattoos, if that makes sense. You know, I actually came from that life, and you know, I got a whole neighborhood to prove it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they love me, they respect me, I respect and love them as well. Like, that's my team, and at the end of the day, it's like they're helping me in a sense where they view my stuff. They work with, oh, let's shoot a video type shit. Like, it's just it's a lot of people involved in my music. You know what I mean? And it's a blessing to be able to have people on my side. Like I've told people before, they're not behind me. Because, you know, people be like, oh, I got people behind me. No, I got the people beside me. Because they're on my team. They're beside me. You know? I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I encourage anybody that wants to do music to do it. But I also encourage people that want to get a regular job. Ain't nothing wrong with a regular job. Go get it. Feed your family.
I interviewed Little Rob.
Yeah.
This was quite a while back.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked him, you know, advice that he had for rappers coming up. And his main advice was, you know, just, you know, not start too many beefs. Not into, you know what I'm saying? Don't use beef as a way to, like, kind of,
Right.
you know, propel your career. Do you have any advice for any new and up-and-coming artists in the game?
I mean, the only advice I got, man, is the same that I've had for the longest time, is not to step on nobody's toes and just be a man of your word at all times. You know, that way you can sleep at night, dog. You know what I mean? You don't worry about you bullshitting somebody or anything like that. Or, you know what I mean? Keep the dissing to a minimum. You shouldn't have to diss nobody, man. I've dissed a couple people in my time, but you know, they kind of deserved it at the time. But nowadays, you look back, man, it was just a waste of fucking time, waste of breath to even deal with any dissing or anything like that, man, or hear what people got to say with that. But don't step on nobody's toes and just be a man of your word, and you should be good, man.
And I noticed that I don't think I seen you in any beefs.
Right. I think when I first started music, that's how I thought that was the way to get to where you need to be, you know? And I might have even done a track where I mentioned people and dissed or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that was at my younger age. And once I got to a certain point where I seen I can do this with my music. I don't need to sit there and put people's names or like talk about people in a certain way, like no subliminals, no nothing. Like, my music does it on its own. So there's no need for that. You know what I mean? My music carries itself to the fullest. And people see that. So I let the people decide who's the champ. You know, plain and simple.
I interviewed Swifty Blue. I don't know if you know who that is or not.
Yeah, I know who he is.
And I asked him, you know, what he thought about Mexicans using the N-word.
Oh.
And he said that, you know, times have changed and that, you know, back in the day, you know, maybe 10 years ago it would have been a big no-no. But nowadays, a lot of dudes do use it.
People are going to talk however they want to talk, and they're going to express themselves however they feel. You know, I understand that, you know, certain people, you know, don't respect that or frown upon it. But at the end of the day, you know, it's 2020, so you know, the trends are different. People are in a whole nother time zone. So I'm not even 10 years ago, I would have been like, oh yeah, no, yeah, that's for sure, that's a no-no. Now it's like, hey man, you got motherfuckers painting their hair different colors. You got motherfuckers doing all types of off-brand shit. The homie says, he nigga or something. Hey, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think about that?
I mean, it all depends on where you come from, man. You know what I'm saying? And it all depends. It's all a matter of respect. At the end of the day, some people use it in a bad way, and at the end of the day, some people use it as in a way of speaking. Being from where I came from, a lot of my homies say it, but you know, thinking about it myself, I say it when I'm sitting there talking to my homies, you know. But music-wise, I don't put it in my music, because then to me that's kind of a disrespectful term. You know what I mean? So I leave it out of it. Leave it out of my music. Or even when I'm talking to other people. If I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm not going to sit here and use it towards you, because I don't know if you even use that word or you don't. You know what I'm saying? But around my homies and around my people like that understand the meaning and what we're really talking about. It's like you calling me, hey, what's up, dog? You know what I mean? Like my boy or whatever it is. Like, I went to prison and basically kicked that word out of my vocabulary while I was in there, because it's a different place. There's a time and a place for everything. That wasn't the place for it. So I had to sit there and calling people fool and dog, and I found every other word to get around it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day you come home, you're back around your homies. That's how they speak. That's how they speak. You know, that doesn't make them a different individual or less of a person because they talk like that. You know, I don't. There's some people that still talk the way we used to talk back in the days with the homes and the S, and my homies don't. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, like if we would look down on you for that, you look down on these people for speaking a certain way. Like there shouldn't be it shouldn't even be an issue. Just like the way people dress. I don't care if somebody wants to wear skinny jeans. That's their decision. I don't care if people wear, you know, a certain color hair. That's their decision. You're not gonna catch me doing it. That's how the people should look at it as far as the speaking and using different words in that sense. You know what I mean? Because it's not being used in a derogatory way or towards, you know, blacks or that's not what the meaning of it or what's behind it. You know, you could tell the difference between somebody that's using it as a derogatory term.
Right. We were talking in the way of, you know, it's like as a term
Like
of
your homie.
endearment. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Nah, I understand that. That's how I feel about that situation, you know?
Yeah. Well, man. Oh, what do you got coming up?
Man, I got a double album coming. Hopefully, you know, I don't want to say no date, but hopefully in the near future it should be coming out soon. We just got a couple of things that we got to tie, little attachments that we're working on, and we just had a collab with Co-Create, and they made a mini action figure of myself. It's pretty dope. We also have, you know, LA Originals out now with Esteban Orio. He's the one that put all of that together. He also filmed another documentary on myself that should be coming soon too. So we have a lot in the mix, and you know, we've also accomplished a lot already. So it's like the things keep coming, man. Everything, the blessings keep coming, and God is on our side. So definitely a blessing to be able to speak and explain what we got going. And I want to show everybody, like I said, is that there's definitely a chance to straighten up and get your stuff right, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Is the documentary gonna be on Netflix?
We don't know yet, to be honest with you. He's working on trying to ship it or, you know, shop it around to see what we basically figure out, and hopefully something big comes out of it.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Well, that's what's up, man. You know, I love what you're doing.
Appreciate you.
You know,
man.
you got, you know, big shit going on, man. I know you worked with China Mac,
Yeah.
Yelawolf.
Yeah, I got tracks with Yelawolf, China Mac, man, just so many artists. I got
Is there
a
anything
track
you
with
could speak
Crooked
on your new album?
Yeah, I think we're gonna put the Yelawolf track, one of the because I got 2 tracks with Yelawolf. One he's gonna use, and then the other one that he's not using that we're gonna keep and put on my album. Also got a track with Crooked Eye. I've worked with, you know, Baby Bash before, and it's just like a lot of different, you know, opportunities that are starting to open up for us, man. It's definitely a blessing.
Man, that's what's up. Good
Right.
shit, man.
Appreciate you, man.
You know?
Thanks for having me,
Yeah,
bro.
for sure, bro.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you.